And it looks like it has been, because it's been Caspian all the way through this bracket, at least for the sets that I've gotten to cast so far today.
Okay, which is cool. I mean, it looks like we're going to be hopping into Game 1 of Winners Finals in just a moment here, as I see both of these players are starting to load into the match. It's going to be the Petra coming out from Ahmet, which I don't really think is much of a surprise there. And Godly, of course, as we mentioned before, on the Caspian, this should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm curious if maybe we see like a Zariel, if Ahmet falls behind in this set, maybe. Ooh. I mean, like, we saw the Caspian on the side of Ahmet as well, so maybe that was a bit of foreshadowing for what we were about to see out of Godly. But let's get into game number 1 over here on Small Fortress.
Okay, so far, I mean, both of them kind of having a pretty even start here. I mean, that's the way the Gauntlet deals can really be. It's going to be a lot of down airs, a lot of neutral lights, kind of just jockeying for positioning. But it looks like Ahmet's actually going to be the one to get the better end of this. Going to swap over to the orb, disarm Godly. Godly has to pick up these Katars, but doesn't get a chance here to the start from Ahmet. And Ahmet now basically looking for like a D-Light recovery to close things out. And Godly getting a really good weapon spawn there. Oh, I love the patience on that. Waiting for that dodge, doesn't get the punish, but trying to wake up a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, not getting that weapon spawn from maybe like 30 seconds ago was probably like not super great for Godly, but it seems like he's maintained parity so far in terms of damage. No disarm quite yet off on the right side. Oh, Ahmet was correctly scouting out that position as well, but just didn't pull the trigger on it. And yeah, the weapon is just creating a line in the sand right now on this right side. Edgeguard potential for Godly, looking to maybe dip down, go for the gauntlet recovery, but no dice there. Ahmet, opportunity, he finds it unarmed to take the first stock, but I'm sure that first stock to fly off Ahmet isn't too far behind.
Yeah, Godly needs to clean this one up really quick, but I don't think he'll struggle too much here. Ahmet, I think, is doing a good job of also expressing a fair amount of patience, because I think Godly is kind of expecting Ahmet to panic more than he's been doing so far. There we go. Beautiful side sig coming out from Godly. I mean, that's the boon you get with Caspian. You just have these extremely fast, extremely strong signatures to go ahead and close out stocks like that. So just like that, pretty much completely even game yet again. Yeah,
fast and strong signatures, and also like the consistent thing we kept bringing up to people who might have just like been tuning in right now is the super stances give you 9 force on these signatures as well. So we were seeing stocks KO pretty remarkably early in spots that we really wouldn't expect. The coverage that you get out of this legend is pretty insane.
Yeah, nothing better than being a Qatar legend that also has the capability of hitting hard.
Yeah.
Here we go. I mean, Ahmet racking up a bit of extra damage, but that's not going to connect. Godly coming around the side, gets the falling neutral layer, is going to swap over to these Katars, gets a good bit of extra damage here as well. And look at the way he's trying to control that center stage. Ahmet with great movement, finagling his way around and getting 2 siders. Now almost gets the punch with that recovery as well, just slightly off the mark, but still has all the positioning.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if we see, gauntlets get picked back up, so this is maybe what, sidelighting to wait for a dodge recovery. Godly tries to take a similar play out of the playbook with the Katars in hand, but now it's the gauntlet ditto. He's been very good at waiting out the dodges as well. I'm sure some of the conditioning he's getting from the Katars is doing that. But look at this, man. Like, I mean, he was in reds, right? So that was going to KO pretty much regardless, but the coverage that you get and the arc that you get specifically off of that N-Sig is just so good.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ahmet responds right back with a nice little string into the recovery to KO Godly off the top. This has been one of the most even, if not the most even game I've seen yet today. These guys have clearly going, blow for blow here. Godly, once again, coming out a little bit on top, and then Ahmet immediately waking up, responding right back, tacking on that damage. They have not allowed there to be more than like a deficit of like 30 damage this entire match, it feels like, aside from that beginning for Godly, but then he was really quickly able to bring it back. Yeah, and I mean, even earlier in the broadcast today, after Ahmet made it into Winners Finals, he was saying, I really hope it's Godly. Like, I really want to be able to play against him. I didn't know that this was their head-to-head going into it, but, with how close it is, it's expected that the two of them get here with their PR placements of 1 and 2. Ooh. But let's see if he can close out this first game, maybe start to break this 5-1 head-to-head set deficit that Ahmet is facing down. Sidelight Sair goes off the right side. Can he find another one? Oh, he tries to wait it out, but the bounce off the weapon toss makes that a little bit awkward. He's proceeding with this edge guard, tries to find the stack position with the N-Light, but nobody home. Oh, that's going to be a huge punish. The side sig has enough juice on it as well. The N-Sig in celebration. Godly finally finding the mark there. That was like 2 or so different signatures that he had thrown out beforehand that had gotten punished. But this time around, he was like, I'm just going to let it rip. I think that's part of the reason that he's playing Caspian too. I think Godly definitely the kind of player that's just like, after a match goes on for a certain amount of time, I think he'll just kind of be like, dude, I need this to end. Yeah, let's finish, let's wrap this up. Let's it's time. Yeah, I mean, the stats do reflect that as well. 11 signatures to 1 in terms of the count. I think Godly hit 3, if my percentage, or 2 or 3 of those, if my percentages is correct. Mattered. Yeah, and they all did matter for sure. I mean, again, I can't
can't under or over, whichever one it is, overstated enough how insane the 9-Force Caspian really is. And you have the range and the coverage with that signature kit to be able to basically option into 2 different positions at once.
Yeah, no, it's really nice because, you know, even though the strength stat doesn't make your signatures any stronger, you get so much damage per interaction because all of your light attacks do like way more, well, you know, way more quote unquote damage. But with a string weapon like Qatar, where you're getting all these multiple hits in a row, the fact that every individual part of that sequence is doing more damage means it's adding up to like averaging, you know, another extra 5 to 10 damage per string that you get, so that it feels like you already have your opponent in the orange and the red way earlier, which is so nice.
Yeah, there was a specific interaction in one of Godly's sets earlier today that I keep remembering, and the amount of coverage that Caspian is afforded now is insane because it just like was such a doom position from start to finish. I think it was like GC Enlight, and Ensig rather, to just cover a high arc, and it was basically like if you don't drift or drift left, you get hit by it and you probably lose the stock, and if you full drift in, you get hit by recovery and you also lose the stock. It's such a crazy amount of option coverage that you now have on this legend, especially with the added force.
Right back to the Fortress of Vines. Man, granted, that was an extremely close match, but going into this one, it's actually Godly coming out the gate, swinging with great success. Ahmet trying to answer back here, but there we go. Godly swapping over to the Qatars. Doesn't get that guaranteed conversion to the downlight there. Maybe just a little bit too slow, or maybe caught the sidelight at a weird angle, but I mean, I don't think Ahmet can afford to be this far behind. The side signature gets him at the perfect damage range.
Flambo, I had to cough, and I looked down, and I'm going to be honest, I went to mute my mic so people wouldn't hear me cough, and then I looked up and the stock was gone. What happened?
Side sig, man. I mean, 4 out of 4 stocks we've seen Godly take thus far have been through a signature. 3 of them have been that side signature. 1 of them was that neutral signature that you were just talking about. Whether he's missing, it doesn't really matter, because when he does hits, the stocks are disappearing. He knows exactly what range to start throwing them out and the positioning he needs for him to make the stock disappear. But Ahmet responds back in a way where you would think that Godly didn't even have that destructive opening.
I mean, it's something that you just have to have when you're number 1 or number 2 in your region, right? Like that mental fortitude to just be able to forge onward, you know, shake that one off, even though you kind of got clipped in the first stock. It is what it is. You keep this one going, and just like that, it is almost exactly even in terms of damage right now. Okay, never mind. He just covers it.
Yeah, the immediate ground pound. Ahmet not ready for it. Loses the stock pretty early there. I think like in the light orange, but just didn't have any resources to get back. I don't even think got out of hit stun before being able to jump there. And so Godly definitely creating another gap between them, one of the largest gaps we've seen so far in the set. Ahmet, you know, really tasked with a lot of heavy-duty work here, trying to bring things back. Has to be careful. We saw that trade there. The stars came out, but luckily Ahmet, not too much damage. Doesn't have to be too scared.
And again, this weapon position is a little bit awkward, right? So Godly's just kind of putting some buttons out there in case Ahmet wants to get the party started with a weapon toss. It would be like terrible position for him if he loses the weapon and Godly gets the pickup. But not going to happen quite yet. It's a gauntlet ditto right now. Ahmet definitely still in this one. Gets the offstage. Can go for a side air, I was going to say, or maybe just dip down recovery instead. Waits for the dodge, but doesn't fire it.
All right, has to find a way down. It's going to be a punish. And now we can fish for a recovery on really anything. It'll get the stock here. An Enlight in the corner will be enough as well. Unarmed, something should be enough, but Ahmet just needs to find that blow.
Even Sayer from, I was going to say, like, yeah, Enlight is just enough from the orb to do it. And, you know, while it was a lead erased, it is still a lead nonetheless for Godly with Ahmet sitting in orange right now. Ahmet still has to maneuver around this stock pretty carefully to get the damage threshold back in his favor.
Yeah, and Godly being very reserved with his dodges as well, recognizing he has a lot of like health to work with. Every time he's been hit, he's just been doing a mix-up between jumping or fast falling. He's actually refusing to press that dodge button, which is making it harder for Ahmet to get really big damage whenever he does land a blow. Right. See, there it is again, just jumps out of hit stun. He has to go for a read here that Godly's not going to do anything off that down air. Godly also not jumping or not dodging yet again. So Ahmet here just commits, gets that guaranteed conversion there, and honestly, he's brought the damage back.
And on the other side of things too, Ahmet's had some pretty good discipline and not just burning dodge right away. We've been seeing Godly really clock, immediate dodge into a wait and then just get an even bigger punish as a result. No disarm on either side here is pretty relevant.
Ooh. I might have brought this all the way back.
Ahmet gets it. Oh, and he turns it around. 3 stocks in a row. He says, want to see me take your lead away? Want to see me do it again? Want to see me do it a third time? How about that? And Ahmet will take the first game of this set.
Wow, perfect damage range there for that one as well. I mean, we've seen from the sides of both players, really, some extremely efficient knockouts where it's just at the perfect range. We saw Ahmet get this downlight a little bit earlier as well. We saw him kind of beef it. And so this time around, he was like, I'm not going to drop this a second time. I'm going to get that recovery and make sure I'm securing the stock. So extremely well played to Ahmet, because Godly was multiple times in that game too in a position where it felt like if he just kept playing consistently, he should have won the match. Yet the result tells a different tale.
Yeah, and this is kind of the cautionary tale, as it were, of Qatar players as well, right? Like, you don't really have any true conversions into reliable KO options, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, and the damage does reflect this. Gauntlets. Oh my God! Never. How about, what if you just read them a million times? Why not that?
Yeah, pieced up.
Godly's taking the first thought. Can't even finish the previous thought. I was going to say the Qatars really were not that big of a factor in game number 1. Godly relying on the gauntlets instead, but that is certainly not the case in the second game.
Yeah, he's definitely speccing way more into the Qatar gameplay here, which, I mean, look at how much is paying out here, especially, I mean, historically, it's always been a little bit of a rougher one to try and play a gauntlets into Qatars, and we're kind of seeing why here, because once the Qatar player really gets it going, it can be hard to stuff out, but Godly won't have a lot of resources to get down, goes high, then fast falls low, tricks up Ahmet, tries to go for the immediate read on a no dodge there, but Ahmet does dodge up, so Godly's going to be looking for that the next time he gets an end light.
And all this is just gravy right now, too, right? Even if Godly just nickel and dimes right here, he's eventually going to make $1. We'll see what happens, though. If Ahmet can just find a recovery, he gets one right there to finally take the stock, but he got pretty hurt on his second, with Godly's Qatars really putting in the work on this game, too.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that downlight actually picked up. It looked a little bit high to me, but that's why Ahmet's there, and I'm here knowing exactly how high above the ground you can go for that cancel downlight and still have it connect with the model. But there we go. Godly is swinging a miss, expecting Ahmet to dash in, giving Ahmet a huge opportunity to bring back some damage, but still trailing behind by at least like a good 50-ish.
Ooh, sick jump from Ahmet to just get over the top. Looking for that down air, but just couldn't get too much more damage. Godly is starting to fish a little bit, which is a little unorthodox from what we've seen throughout this entire bracket out of him. Does finally get the opening hit that he's looking for the stock, but he's in red.
And he's going to swap right back to the Qatars, yeah. Start racking up that damage. Here we go. Goes from the immediate half-pipe starter. Jumps around this recovery as well from Ahmet, and might get caught. Beautiful dodge again, just narrowly getting out of harm's way here. Godly really trying to extend the stock, see how much damage you can get. Yeah,
Petro will get the KO with side light side air pretty much from anywhere now, so we see it. Yeah, just raw side air even is probably enough.
Nice.
And yeah, just enough to get through. So Ahmet makes it a one-stock conversation again, and he is willing to talk to Godly.
Oh, and Godly dashes away right when the weapon spawns. Luckily, manages able to double back and pick it up. Let's see. Ahmet needs to be scared for here. And Godly hasn't represented that down sig either, so Ahmet definitely needs to be scared for that. Godly in the corner has so many options to threaten. Whoa, okay. Passes it to himself and swap over to the gauntlets here. Goes for the silent recovery. It's not going to work. Ahmet tries to get a conversion. Has to refresh his resources.
Okay. Once again, a little bit antsy with these signatures. You had pointed them out before. Oh, that recovery didn't KO.
One more for Godly. That's all it takes. He's basically in the white here, and that's it.
Nice wait.
Just scouts it out, says, you know what, I'm going to get my side light, I'll be patient, you're going to give me the dodge eventually. And here it is, just one clean recovery from Godly, and a great response, I'd say, for that game 3. Because game 2, I mean, Ahmet was the story of Ahmet bringing it back. Right?
I feel like it got a little bit dicey for Godly. I feel like once both players get to final stock, you're like, okay, deep breath, lock in. Like, let's make sure this can actually happen right now. Because, you know, even in game 1, Godly seemed like he was more or less in the lead for the entire game, and he gets that one stolen away from him. So it's like, dang, if I have that happen to me twice, like, I'm in big trouble, you know?
Yeah, and especially if you're Ahmet too, right? If you're able to do that twice, and you're like, yeah, I can totally get this guy this time around. For sure. So, you know, good for Godly's mental. Ahmet, though, definitely gonna have to figure it out a little bit, right? I mean, has won a game already, so knows that it can be done. But then on the other side of things, got pretty mopped in the last one. And so it's like, what adjustments do I make here? Demon Island's going to be the name of the scenery. And, you know, honestly, as far as, like, off-stage gameplay goes, we haven't really seen too much of it. There's only been, like, really one edge guard-like sequence I can think of, and that's been that one ground pound that Godly was able to get. I think that was in game 2. But outside of that, it's been a lot of on-stage gameplay.
Yeah, I think just reliable KO options is such a big part of the meta right now, right? Like when you're Ahmet and you're Petra, you have your orb that's just so good at getting KOs with Sair, or your recoveries off the top to take the first one right here.
Yeah, that was a perfectly executed, I don't even know if I can call that an edge guard. Maybe I'll call it a corner guard instead from Ahmet there. Just extremely patient, was able to catch Godly's landing, bait out his dodge, and then confirm into a knockout all in one smooth sequence. So Godly going to have to kind of do what Ahmet did to him in game number 2 now and bring things back. And so far, struggling a little bit to even find these openings. Doing a lot of weapon tosses to try to break through the mold. Great following of Ahmet's movement there from Godly, honestly.
Oh, I really like these nairs from Ahmet as well. Like he's just fast falling down, clipping Godly with something, dips underneath right there to sneak in a Sair as well. The orb play has been really, really solid. And these signatures that Godly's doing by the corner are just not finding their mark. He does finally get a disarm right here, so maybe he can close out a stock, but Ahmet, some signs of life with the gauntlets in hand, flips it around over to the left blast zone. Godly eventually evens it 2-2, but he got pretty hurt in the process.
Okay, now let's see, Ahmet. What do you do here with the little lead you've amassed for yourself? I mean, Godly trying to bring things back here. Great reaction to the dodge in place. Tries to throw out that down sig to see if he can get a quick one. Luckily, Ahmet doesn't bite. That would have been disastrous for him, but Godly's pretty much done most of the work of bringing this game back. Ahmet has not hit him. Finally, one nair, but that's just about it for the past 30 seconds. Yeah,
a couple immediate changes from Godly that show the adaptation so far. Okay, tries to slide off that with that end sig, but doesn't find the mark.
Gonna survive this.
But those drop-down nairs with Ahmet's orb just weren't quite working in that first string. He does get a recovery in neutral to take the stock lead, but Ahmet also hurt. I mean, this is a gauntlet recovery away. This is pretty much anything from Godly.
All right, let's see. Godly looking for that moment, throwing a side sig, and light. And no recovery to follow, no D-Light as well. Godly's looking for the setup. There it is, the D-Light into the immediate recovery, securing that stock, and just like that, tight battle yet again. Ahmet, of course, needing to win this one to make the Game 5 happen. Godly looking to close out this set and punch his ticket into the grand finals.
All right, Ahmet with the step back, nobody home though.
Jeez.
And Godly's just playing the air-to-air really well. Again, it's not something that you really expect out of Qatar players, right? Like, you can nair on top in the stack position, but you're kind of initiating in a lot of these spots and trying to force out dodges against your opponent. Godly, though, ever the aggressor.
Let's see, Ahmet trying to find a way in. There we go, gets one hit. Godly with a tricky movement comes across. Huge punish.
He had almost all the way, too, and I think that recovery would have put him in top right corner.
Yeah, it was a fastball that hit stun, I think, that got him out. But not this time around. Godly securing the victory, going into the grand finals. It's going to be 6-1 now in favor of Godly as far as the head-to-head goes. But hard fought by Ahmet. It just seems like maybe just like a half step behind in terms of being able to get these, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there were some really good signs out of Ahmet, just like generally speaking, but I don't know.